Peace on earth. We see and hear that familiar phrase at Christmas time on cards, in carols, and in churches everywhere. But what does the Christmas story really have to do with peace? And what can we learn from it if we want to be peacemakers ourselves? Jesus was born into a world full of violence and conflict, much like our world today. He was born in a country ruled by a foreign power, in a region ruled by a violent dictator, to a young couple who were forced to live as refugees. Corruption was rife amongst those in power, from the local taxmen through to the religious leaders. Prejudice and segregation was common between people of different ethnicities and those with illnesses and disabilities. Violent crime was widespread. Travelling from one town to another was a risky business. It was in the midst of this violence, corruption and prejudice that God decided to come as a human being. So how does all this fit with peace on earth? Jesus' birth is the first step of an incredible story, a story all about reconciliation. The Bible tells us that Jesus came to make peace between God and human beings, and to make peace between people on earth. So Christmas itself is the announcement that peace on earth is coming, and that Jesus is going to make that happen. And as we look deeper, we start to see that this is a very different type of peace than we're used to. We see in his birth the first glimpses into one of the keys to Jesus' peacemaking methods, that he wants to take sides, both sides. Just take a look at the mix of characters involved in the story. An angel of God comes to chat to an unknown young woman who's soon to be a teenage mum. And a group of shepherds who were despised social outcasts at the time come to visit Jesus, but so do mystical travellers from distant lands who are so important that they go to meet the king on their way. Even Jesus himself is born into the lineage of the most famous king of Israel, King David, yet he becomes a refugee. And all this is just the start of a life of relationships and interactions with people which crossed all the divides of his day, making heroes of the despised foreigners, touching those deemed untouchable, eating with the religious leaders and corrupt taxmen who caused so much depression. For us at ChIPS, we're inspired by Jesus' story as we seek to be Christian peacemakers in areas of conflict and tension around the world. Wherever we work, we seek to deeply engage with communities from all sides involved in the conflict, whether that's different tribes in Ghana or young people from opposing estates in Brixton. We seek to find ways to build strong, trusting relationships with people from all sides. If possible, we even seek to recruit teams who are made up of people from these different groups, who then live and work together for peace in their communities. Our teams run practical projects which seek to serve people from both sides of the conflict, while also creating opportunities for people from the different sides to do practical activities together. Be it farming, sewing, sports, these joint projects create opportunities for relationships to be built across the divides and a new shared vision for a sustainable future free from violence and division to be formed. Jesus' method is so core, it's become our strapline. We take sides, both sides. And so this Christmas, whenever you read or hear peace on earth, why not take a moment to think how you can help make this happen? It may be a small thing, taking time to listen to a neighbour who you find difficult, starting a conversation with the young people who hang out in your area, or sending a message of encouragement to your local councillor or MP, especially if you disagree with them. Whatever it is, let's all ask ourselves this Christmas, where in my community can I follow Jesus' example and take sides, both sides?